A young girl trafficked from Mar-a-Lago, a billionaire pedophile with friends in the highest places, a former president who now claims that a girl, Virginia Giuffre, was stolen from his spa by Jeffrey Epstein. And just months after speaking out, Virginia is dead. The official story is suicide. But something about this just doesn't sit right. Not with her family, not with other survivors, and not with anyone who's been paying attention to how deep the story actually goes. So today, we're going down the rabbit hole. What really happened to Virginia Giuffre? Why is Donald Trump trying to rewrite the story? And what does this tell us about the way power protects itself, even when the bodies start to pile up? Let's break it all down. Watch this video.
The family of one of Jeffrey Epstein's most high-profile victims, Virginia Giuffre, is seeking answers from President Trump after his comments earlier this week. Take a listen.
He took people that worked for me, and I told him don't do it anymore, and he did it. And I said, stay the hell out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her.
So on July 29th, 2025, aboard Air Force One, President Donald Trump made a statement that shocked even his critics. He claimed that Jeffrey Epstein, yes, that Jeffrey Epstein, stole Virginia Giuffre and other young women from the spa at his Mar-a-Lago resort. Trump went on to say that he warned Epstein to stop, and when he didn't, Epstein was banned from the club. But here's the problem. The woman he's referring to, Virginia Giuffre, isn't here to respond because earlier this year, she died under circumstances that many believe deserve far more than they've received. This isn't just a story about Donald Trump or even Jeffrey Epstein. It's a story about power, trauma, erasure, and the way victims are spoken about, even after death. Virginia Giuffre was 16 when she started working at the Mar-a-Lago hotel. It was supposed to be a safe job, but one day she met Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman who told her she could train her to become a professional masseuse for wealthy clientele. That was just the start of her nightmare. Giuffre was then introduced to Jeffrey Epstein and quickly pulled into a cycle of grooming, sexual assault, and trafficking. Over the years, she accused Epstein and powerful men in his orbit of using her for sex while she was still a minor. Among those names, Prince Andrew, a U.S. lawyer, billionaires. Virginia didn't just survive. She fought back. She spoke out. She went to court. She pushed the story of Epstein's trafficking ring into mainstream media when many just wanted it buried. She should be alive today. In April 2025, Giuffre was found dead in her home in West Palm Beach. The official cause of death was a suicide. According to police, there was no sign of foul play, no struggle, no forced entry. A note was reportedly found, but the details were kept from the public. The timing, though, raised the eyebrows. Virginia had been preparing to release a memoir. She had recently requested new filings requesting the full Epstein list to be made public. She had just spoken out with journalists about her upcoming advocacy work, and her family said that she seemed hopeful. Was it suicide? Maybe. But for many, including survivors and her own family, it doesn't feel like the full truth. The Epstein case is filled with sudden deaths, sealed records, and people who have spent decades trying to silence victims. So it's fair to ask, was Virginia Giuffre's death a tragedy or something much darker? We don't know, and that's what makes this so haunting. Now, let's turn to Trump. A few months after her death, he said publicly that Epstein stole young women from his spa, that Epstein was warned, and when he didn't stop, he was removed from the club. He confirmed that one of those women was likely Virginia Giuffre, and then he added she had no complaints. Let that sink in. A girl is recruited at 16, trafficked internationally, abused by billionaires, and the former President of the United States says she had no complaints? Even in death, Virginia is being painted as passive, as silent, as if her story can be reduced to a hiring issue at a spa. It's not just offensive, it's dehumanizing.
Giuffre's brothers and sisters-in-law saying in a statement, quote, "It makes us ask if he was aware of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal actions, especially given his statement 2 years later that his good friend Jeffrey, quote, likes women on the younger side, no doubt about it, unquote. We and the public are asking for answers."
Her brother, Sky Roberts, said, "She is not an object. She is not something to be stolen. She was a person." He also made it clear Virginia never returned to Mar-a-Lago after being trafficked. She wasn't poached. She wasn't recruited. She was groomed. And when Trump claimed she had no complaints, her family called it a slap in the face, a cruel way to rewrite history. They watched her suffer for decades. Trump and Epstein weren't strangers. They partied in the 90s together. They shared friends, photos, even flights. Trump once said Epstein liked women on the younger side, and then he laughed about it. Trump now claims he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago around 2004. But public records and interviews suggest that Epstein remained in his social orbit for years. So when Trump paints himself as the man who tried to stop Epstein, the question becomes, why now? Why this version of the story? And why frame it around a woman who can't defend herself anymore? Let's talk about the language. Trump said stole. Stole implies that Virginia was a thing, not a human being, not a teenager, had no complaints. That tells us everything about how people in power rewrite stories of survivors. Virginia screamed her story for years. She filed lawsuits. She gave interviews. She put names on the record. To suggest that she was fine with it because she never complained to Trump is willfully dishonest or horrifyingly ignorant. And let's not forget that now she's gone. She deserves peace. She deserved protection. She deserved a president who wouldn't turn her suffering into a talking point. So what do we do with all this information? We remember the truth. We honor the dead. And we don't let the powerful shape stories that they were complicit in. Virginia Giuffre was not stolen. She was used. She was abused. And when she tried to make the world listen, she was smeared, discredited, and eventually silenced. Whether her death was a suicide or something else, what's undeniable is the pressure. The weight of the world was on her shoulders. So let her name be a warning. Let it be a vow. We don't forget. We don't look away. We don't let them rewrite the storybook. So what do you think really happened to Virginia Giuffre? And how do you feel about the way Donald Trump continues to talk about her even now? Let me know down in the comments. I read everything you guys share, and this conversation matters more than ever. If you found this video meaningful, hit the like and consider subscribing. We cover stories that others just won't touch. Until next time, stay sharp, stay kind, stay human, and as always, free Palestine.